Hey everyone, Jarb here. Hope you're having a good start to your 2025. I, like a not so smart person, waited for the email from Letterboxd for the year in review, not understanding that it is just your stats page. I thought the presentation was cool. Let me actually show it real quick. The presentation's cool, however, I think it's more fun to just go through my stats like this, so that's what we're gonna do. This is my Letterboxd Wrapped 2024, so let's do this thing. I watched 312 movies last year, which feels pretty good to say. I wanted to hit 365, but 312 is not bad. I liked 259 things, which I'm going to assume mostly, were movies. I left 6 comments. I wish I could see that. And I watched 584 hours worth of movies. My favorite movies from last year. This isn't obviously how my top 10 went, or my top 8, I guess. But yeah, I guess this is 8 of the movies I rated higher that released in 2024. I do like this. I like seeing, so the second week I didn't watch any movies. First week I only watched 1 movie, but then 2 movies this week, 11 movies in week 4. I like seeing my peaks, 11 movies again in week 10, so March 4th. 10 films in May. I hit 9 films one time during June, 9 films one time during August, 9 films 3 weeks in a row during October, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. I'm very impressed with that. 9 films from November. Yeah, so that's pretty sick. I made 4 lists then, which was, I guess it won't tell me specifically what. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I like seeing that. I average 26 per month. That's almost 30, 31, 30 and a half, I guess, technically. But I average 6 per week, which means that 6 out of 7 days each week I was watching a movie. I like that. I want to up it to 7. I'm working on that this year, but I like that. The most films I watch were on Thursday and Friday. I don't work Thursdays and Fridays usually, and that's also when my school was usually out, obviously. So that kind of makes sense. Tuesday being that high is interesting. I think Wednesday being this low makes sense. I work at a comic book store, so Wednesdays are my busy days. And Sunday being this high, it's just interesting that Wednesday and Saturday are both this low. First film I saw, Trolls 3. Don't have to talk about that. I do like seeing my milestones. The 50th movie I watched this year was rewatching The Dark Knight. 100th was watching Anyone But You. 150th was Once Brothers. Don't really feel comfortable giving this one a rating. Don't really have a ton of feelings on it. It's like a documentary about Vlade Divac and Drazen Petrovic, which is cool, but also just different, Spider-Man 3 rewatch. The Trial and Stranger Than Fiction. Really great run here on these last 3. Really great run. And the last film I watched last year was 28 Days Later, which is interesting. Most watched last year, I watched Challengers 4 times. I watched DD 3 times, and I swore that was 4 times, but I guess 3. Saturday night I watched twice. I watched Holdovers twice last year. I did watch Holdovers twice last year. I forgot about that. I watched Wicked twice. Yup. I watched Hitman twice. Transformers 1 twice. And Spider-Verse twice. I wish I gave you the entire list because I know there's other movies I saw multiple times. I saw Dune Part 2 twice last year. I think I saw I saw the TV Glow, I think twice. So there's other movies I watch. My featured list, this is cool. These are the lists I made last year that I think were, I guess I would actually say, important, because Nolan list is one that I made a movie on. My Spooktober 2024, I wanted to actually do something on that for my October horror movies watched. October is obviously horror season, and I do the very obvious thing of trying to increase the amount of horror movies I watch in October. So if it actually, I think that's possibly why this was so high. I watched a lot of films during October. But yeah, this is all the horror movies I watched, and then this is my 2024 list. Obviously, this is a bit updated now because I've seen Anora since then and ranked it really highly, but if it reflected more accurately, it also wouldn't even be accurate to what I changed it to 2 days before recording the video. So the genres, I watched mostly drama and comedy. Usually when people ask me what's my favorite genre of movie, I say drama or comedy, so this makes sense. Watched a decent bit of sci-fi, which is interesting. 28 Days Later, Y2K is what the side ad Astra. I guess a lot of these are sci-fi. Like Sting. I also can't believe I watched that. The Web is sci-fi. Okay, action, thriller, crime, adventure, romance, horror. This is where it gets disappointing. I watched 297 films from the US and like nothing from anywhere else. 65 films from the UK. I don't even know. 28 Days Later, The Apprentice. That's just a UK film. Yeah, so like could have done a lot better here. I want all these numbers to be a lot higher this year, and that's something that if I'm on it, including this, I will be out. I will increase these numbers drastically. This is interesting to me. My most watched theme was superheroes and action-packed battles with villains. I was like really interested in that when I first read it, and then I clicked on it because I've scrolled through this before, and like it's pretty vague on what it counts here. So this isn't that surprising. Like Twisters, like the Apes movies. There's a lot. There's a lot of superhero in here. I will admit it, because also my nano genre that's number one. This comic book hero, exciting. Yeah, Indiana Jones counts here, I guess. But yeah, I watched basically all the Spider-Man movies. I say basically, I did literally watch all of the Spider-Man movies, except for... Anyways, let's keep this moving. Yeah, Action, Evil, Goofy. This one's kind of funny. Same sort of deal, but then like They Live is in here now. And No Way Home is counted in this. But not comic book hero. I don't know. This is another one. I apparently saw 70 movies that premiered in 2024. I don't think it lets you see what those were, but that's actually a pretty decent ratio for me. You know, I'm not getting into festivals. I live in Arizona. I'm not getting like the brutalist screenings. I want to go to the theater and see more movies, but seeing 70 new movies from this year is pretty impressive to me. This is also another one I really like. Only a quarter of my watches last year were rewatches. I like that. I want to keep it that low. I want to keep it lower actually this year. 77 is a good number. I don't want to breach that, especially since I want to watch more movies this year. But yeah, over 75% of my watches being first-time watches. I like that. And then yeah, all of them are reviewed. I like seeing this little spread, the curve. I kind of like the memes that are like, this determines how happy you are as a film fan. Mostly 4 stars makes sense to me. Second being 3.5 makes sense, then 4.5, then 5, then 3. I only watched 7 films this year that I thought were 1 star, which were Trolls Band Together, Marvels, Madam Web, Mean Girls, Tetris, Unfrosted, and the Garfield movie. So yeah, pretty good. My most watched actors this year was actually a tie between J.K. Simmons and Willem Dafoe, followed up by Jason Schwartzman, most likely from all the West movies I was watching, which actually was only 3 this year. Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse makes sense. Between the Temples, yep. I forgot he was in Megalopolis. And then Klaus. He was in Megalopolis for like a scene. Joel Coen, being my number one director, also makes sense. 14 of his films this year. Coen's video coming one day. But yeah, then followed by Nolan. Did the Nolan video this year. Villeneuve is surprising to me because I think this is 6 separate films. Yeah, I watched Prisoners this year for the first time. I watched Dune. Not for the first time. That's actually the second time I see Prisoners. What am I talking about? I rewatched Dune. I saw Dune Part 2 twice. I saw Arrival, Sicario, and Blade Runner. Yeah, I did see 6 movies from this year, and I loved all of them. 5 movies from Fincher. Linklater had 4. Mann 4. Wes Anderson. And so on and so on. Cinematographer Deakins was my first. Hoyt Van Hoytema, 4 movies, all Nolan except for Ad Astra, which adds up. I'll be honest, I'd be lying if I said I was very familiar with many names on here outside of the cinematography category or the writing and producing category, but yeah, that's something else I should probably work on knowing more about. Oh, and I know the composers. Carter Burtwell, I'm not actually familiar with. Okay, all the Coens I am familiar. Hans Zimmer, Elfman, yeah, all this makes sense. My most liked review was Zodiac, effing insane, much better than 7 in my opinion, felt a lot tighter and purposeful for the entire runtime. Kind of weird how much of a Gyllenhaal fan I've becoming recently. My most liked list was my 2024 list. Highs and lows, my highest average watches, and my lowest. Okay, so the highest average rated watch movie I've seen was Godfather. Lowest average was Man of Web. Most popular was Barbie. Most obscure was Overlooked, starring Jared Gilman. Have to represent. Newest movie I saw that last year was Carry On. Oldest was Charade. Also something I want to increase. I didn't see a lot of movies past like the 2000s or 90s last year. I want to go further back. The Trial was the longest at a whopping 5 hours nearly. And Big Take was the shortest at 4 minutes. I actually really like that. Definitely recommend it. 4 minutes. Ton of fun. Beautiful colors. Rated higher than average. I gave Y2K 4 stars. It usually gets 2.6. I gave Trap 4 stars. It usually gets 2.7 roughly. Nope 5 stars when it gets 3.7. They're just wrong. Killing of a Sacred Deer 5 stars when it gets 3.7 usually. Darjeeling Limited 5 stars when it gets 3.8 usually. Kinds of Kindness 4.5 when it gets 3.3 usually. Interesting. Lower than average. Amazing Spider-Man 1.5 versus 3. I'm right. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is bad. Tetris 1 star versus 3.5. That's crazy to me. No Way Home 1.5 star versus 3.8. Makes sense. Trolls 1 star versus 3.18. Mean Girls 1 star versus 2.5. And Marvels 1 star versus 2.5. That last two is like a bad look for me, I feel like. But yeah. And then this is just a list of all of my films watched in 2024. Which is pretty cool. I like seeing my world map. Once again, it does make me realize, like, yeah, I'm not watching any films from any of these regions, or like barely any films from these regions, so I should up that. I kind of like that it gives some recommendations on movies I haven't seen that I should see. And yeah, that was my Letterboxd Wrapped. It's pretty cool seeing this, seeing all I did last year. It's pretty fun to see how they organize it all, and yeah, I'm excited for a better 2025, so I think that's going to wrap it up for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.